Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we have some big updates. So we have the new upcoming Marvel comic drop, and now it is a classic comic. We also have a cool update with regards to some cool VeVeVerse and Master Collector programs that will be coming, and I did want to recap the VeVe market specifically and just how that is going to cause OMI to appreciate a lot faster than anticipated. I've been constantly going on about, all the OMI models are going to be inaccurate, and this is just kind of adds to that because we are seeing a huge uptick in the price of collectibles, and that is specifically related to multiple points of news, but specifically one which goes in with the Master Collector program and buying land as well. So I'm going to be touching a little bit on that. Now, firstly, if we go straight to the Twitter of VeVe Collectibles, they have announced the next comic. It is Uncanny XMen number 4. Now, this is the first appearance of Wanda Maximoff, who is the Scarlet Witch, and her brother Quicksilver. So you're getting first appearances of two different characters. And I believe this cover here, I had a look at this one. So because this is quite, an old cover, it's from 1963, 1960, somewhere around there. If we have a look at the price to physical now, a reprint, you have to be careful because the reprints, obviously they're going to be priced lower. So this reprint here is around about £76, about $100, but the actual originals are quite difficult to find. So here's one that's graded at 3.5, which is not very high. That's going for about $3,500, and you have to kind of scroll through to find another one. They are quite difficult. Here's one that's graded at 3.5 as well. That's about nearly $3,000. Here's another one graded higher at 6. That's about $4,700. So these are definitely on the higher end, as we've seen. This is kind of in what we would kind of expect. So I would say this is definitely going to be one of the more sought after ones. These prices are similar to what we saw with Kang. Now, I don't believe that these are going to have Kang level editions, but if these have the same kind of 30,000 edition numbers, then I think this is probably going to go for slightly higher than what we saw in the previous drop, which was the Falcon one. So I can see, if it's the same number of editions, the ultra rare for this breaking 1.2, 1.3k, the secret rare going for upwards of 5k. That's assuming that the kind of trend we've been seeing with the physicals, if this kind of holds true, the more valued, the more older physicals, they tend to command a higher price in the NFT versions as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, we had the frog drop, so that one was pretty interesting. I managed to land the ultra rare on the drop, as well as a uncommon on the second chance. And I picked up the rare on the market to complete the set. So you can actually combine it with the ghost trap and give it like a pretty cool lightning effect, which is what I've done here. Now, with the actual market, so we've been seeing some pretty crazy prices. So you guys kind of see here that the Captain America, I've been talking about this for a while. People selling this at retail. I picked up a bunch, and now the prices have started to go up massively. And we can kind of see, it's been similar just across the board. All NFTs have been going up in value from what I can see. The frog, this was going for around about 700-ish. Now, what people haven't really taken into consideration is, yes, all of them are going up in value, but why is that? So, the Women X VeVe, they did kind of live stream. There was loads of cool bits of information in there. What I particularly like was the kind of stuff related to Master Collector program and land. So if you want to purchase land, that's going to be kind of, as Dan said, initially on an invite only basis, which is going to be dependent on your could be related to your Master Collector level, or something related to the Master Collector program. And Master Collector program is going to be related obviously to something to do with collecting. Now, what's interesting is the way that Dan kind of explains it made me think of League of Legends, even just the ranking system. He was talking about Diamond, for example, and League of Legends has like, bronze up until like Master, and then in between it there's Diamond, Gold, Platinum. And the way he described it is people can overtake your level based on the activities they're doing. And that reminds me heavily of League of Legends and their kind of decay system. If you're not doing anything, your rank, your MMR starts to decay. And people who are doing, certain things, they're playing more games, they're winning more games, their MMR goes up, and then they can actually overtake you, and your rank can actually drop down from, diamond down to platinum, down to gold, whatever it is. It made me think of that. And I think the FOMO started to kick in. People are starting to go and complete sets that they hadn't completed. People are kind of, trying to monopolize on the kind of really hard to complete sets because there's one piece that's just, very, very rare. They're just buying that one piece up. For example, the Ron English ones, everyone saw that the count calorie, that's kind of like the key piece that you need to complete the set. So they started buying up all the count calories since it's the easiest one. And that's pretty interesting. Now, as these collectibles rise in price, we know that OMI takes a 2.5% fee, which they use to then burn OMI as well from the reserve wallet. Now, that's interesting because as the price of the collectible goes up, that fixed 2.5% as a dollar value is also going up, and that dollar value of OMI, more OMI is being burnt. So 2.5% of $1,000 is more than 2.5% of $100. That's pretty simple to understand. So as some of these collectibles move from $100 to $1,000, we are burning a lot more OMI, and that's just going to continue to increase as we get more new collectibles. The value goes up, the volume of transactions are increasing. We're going to start to see a lot more secondary market burn, and master collector program, that is going to have some OMI burn in it. We are going to see land sale, anything that's non-IP branded. Dan has already said it's going to be 100% contributing to OMI burn. Now, we know that from other platforms, land tends to be quite expensive, and we know it is going to be pricey. Regardless of what the team says, when people are buying and reselling land, we know it's going to be at a premium. But 100% of that OMI, it will be burnt. So all of that rolled together, I can see OMI definitely, it's got no excuse not to start going towards that 1 cent and then 2 cent range towards, maybe early next year. And as we start to get more utility, the OMI utility article is going to come out. I'm really, really curious to see exactly what that effect that's going to have on the market, but I can only see it being positive. There's just so much the team can do, and I think all of us who had been, making the smart plays and dollar cost averaging OMI, like, they're all going to be rewarded. And especially those who are kind of buying in and collecting VeVe from the start, it's still, always a good time to get in. Anyone can get in. That's the beauty of the drops. Anyone can go in and buy a comic on drop day for $7. And yeah, there's like no real huge barrier to entry like I've seen in other NFT projects, which is good. But obviously those who have been in for a long time, they are getting rewarded as those early collectibles become more and more scarce. So pretty interesting stuff. I'm really excited to see what is going to come with land. Dan has said, that it will be invite only. So I kind of want to see exactly what it takes to get invited. Now, lastly, what I would touch on is just the price of OMI for today. So OMI, it has been kind of forming this wedge. I was expecting to see a bit of an increase, as the wedge closed here. But we couldn't, blast off and break this previous high. It just doesn't make sense. So we can see that we did kind of go towards a great high here at around about that 0.54 cent range. But I think, as MTL and Immutable X, as that becomes closer and confirmed, we will break this previous high of 0.62 cents, definitely. But it's good to see that we are holding within this zone between, the 0.5 cent and 0.55 cent range. That's good. I think we're just going to trade between that zone up until MTL, Immutable X, all of that good stuff is confirmed. This week, we are going to get the articles for Master Collector Program and for the OMI utility. I think depending on the contents of those articles, we could actually see an earlier break to the upside. So I am very, very excited to see what's going to happen there. But yeah, I have been, pretty excited to see the movement in the VeVe market. All of that will translate over into movement in OMI. So if you're holding both VeVe collectibles and OMI, that's a pretty good win. I think you can't really go wrong with holding OMI now. There was a lot of initial FUD, there was a lot of, implied risk, but we've kind of gotten past the riskiest stage. The fact that there's all this China FUD, all of the crypto market, kind of saying, oh, hey, I've lost so much of my portfolio valuation, my portfolio, and I'm sure many others who putting that trust and faith in OMI. They're definitely in the green now. But we still have way more green to go, because we know that the previous high was 1.3 cents. We have still got a while to go before we touch that 1.3 cent range back up here. You guys can kind of see that we are forming a nice upwards trend, and I believe we will touch that this year. That's my prediction. We are going to break 1 cent again this year. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to go through with you guys today. Please do check out the link in the description below for the OMI Homie t-shirts. All your purchases, donations toward that will go towards supporting our future events and giveaways. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.